top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We love to help you win in any marketplace. Thanks so much for tuning into the program here. We got a great lineup for you today as well. We're going to have John Long. He's a representative from the US Institute Against Human Trafficking. We're going to talk about that open southern border and how that's affecting things. We've got Neal Levitt as well, sales manager for Febre Frameworks, real estate photographer on the program, as well as kicking off with Nate Ginter, VineIT. He's the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer over at VineIT. Going to talk about Barack Obama has missing records. We're going to talk about will the FBI ransack and raid his house, and also Samsung Odyssey Arc hands-on. We're going to talk about that as well, a raft of gaming display on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Save our hotline number. We'd love to connect with you, and please support our show and support our local area business owners that you hear coming on the program every day. 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Call or text 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com, and download the podcast as well. You can subscribe over at the iTunes as well as Spotify, and we'd love to connect with you there as well on the website, consumerqb.com. One of our hot listings here, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We got a co-listing, kind of a listing that we've working with a gentleman, Bill DeVore Real Estate Group over at 530 Heaton Forest Road in North Carolina. So looking for our VIPs, our executives, two home owners potentially, or maybe you're moving to Cashiers area, North Carolina. You got an 8,000 square foot property, $10 million listing here from the Bill DeVore Real Estate Group, 8,000 square feet, 20-acre property, magnificent country estate, mountains of western North Carolina. You got a breakfast porch patio, 4 fireplaces for those cool mountain evenings. Got a 2-car attached garage, carport, as well as an expansive stone driveway. You got a guest house as well, 3 bedrooms and a sitting room. 530 Heaton Forest Road, Cashiers, North Carolina. One of the co-listings that we have with Bill DeVore Real Estate Group. He is the listing agent up in the western North Carolina area. Great opportunity to own real estate. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, let's jump right into it. We got Nate Ginter in the house. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you much for having me, as always, Brandon.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Let's jump right into it. So, former Twitter manager convicted of spying for Saudi Arabia. Wow.
Yes, yeah. So this is one of those, obviously being in cybersecurity and, being in IT management for, small to medium businesses. People always, ask me why they can't just use something like Twitter for messaging with their things. And the reality is it's not confidential. Their security is horrible on those platforms. So using something like Microsoft Teams that you can really control and set the security up for, and they have attestations on their security policies, which they do not give out for things like, your Twitters or, back in the day, your AOL Instant Messenger, Facebook Messenger, that sort of thing. This gentleman in particular was actually an unregistered agent of the Saudi Arabian government. He accessed over 6,000 personal accounts and pulled data, messaging, and so I always tell everybody, whether it's something you're, if you're trying to keep that new Corvette purchase from your wife, or you've got sensitive business information, best not do it over those public platforms. If she doesn't find it, somebody else will, and it'll get posted online.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. And you look at, nowadays too, they're going after like death threats with Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State. I mean, there's some real life stuff going on, crazy stuff going on an international scale. It
is wild, and when they talk about cyber espionage, we always think of somebody hacking into some government server somewhere and pulling some secret blueprint out for some new military device or plane or bomb or something.
Yep.
But the most of the espionage is really built around personal intelligence on people, compromising people in positions of power,
right?
And find whether it's business or whether it's political power, somebody with influence in the community, while you may not think you're a target now, they look at like everything from local politicians to local businessmen, because they want to get those assets early and get a hook in you. So be very careful what you're doing on those public platforms and social media.
It's a whole different way to think about grooming, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Not just in
yes.
schools. It's not just in schools these days.
Oh no,
grooming young kids. They're grooming these politicians in a lot of cases.
Absolutely, and just whenever I'm talking to somebody who has an even remotely public profile or some where their reputation is linked to their business in a public way, my advice is always have somebody in your business doing your social media posting. Hey, we've all got a little funny after a couple of bourbons and a good cigar and decided I'm going to weigh in on my opinion. Why don't we run this past our social media first? Just get a second set of eyes.
There you go. That's right. That's a great idea. Yeah, because you sometimes you wake up the next day, you're like, wait a minute, what was I thinking on that post?
And there is no such thing as undelete on the internet. Somebody's got a capture of it somewhere.
Yeah, I was watching a Netflix series too, man. There's a website, I don't even want to say it because it's kind of just a weird situation, but they would compromise people, hack in there, find pictures, find videos, and then they would post it. And the guy's name actually incidentally was Hunter as well, so he's probably kind of similar to the other Hunter. But but that's what they would do, and he would put these up, and the people would beg him, please take it down. My kids' pictures in the background. He didn't care. He just did it. He's called the most hated man on the internet.
Oh, absolutely, and it's there's business in that.
Right.
People always think of crypto lockering as being, the biggest threat, and it's out there for sure. But just regular old cyber criminals from, whether they're American or all over the world, they will, if they get a hold of your account. That's why I always say two-factor authentication, which is the little code that you get texted back if you turn it on when you go to log in on everything you do. Personal, you might not think it matters. Sometimes they get in through weird things like, if you have an Xbox account or an Apple iCloud account, they'll log in there, they'll get access to that, and they'll use that to shimmy over into, something else where you might have some sensitive things stored.
Fish tank thermometer
yes.
at the casino.
Yeah,
remember that story?
Oh, absolutely. So I know this is one of your favorite stories, but just a quick recap for the folks at home. So there was a casino that lost $10 million because somebody in the basically the services department for the casino wanted to know what the temperature was on the fish tank, so they hooked it up, and they knew the private Wi-Fi code for the actual casino itself, and they hooked it up there so that they could use their little application. And somebody saw the thermometer, knew what it was, use that to get access to their private Wi-Fi, and then were able to hack machines in the casino to spit out money. They got away with $10 million.
Unbelievable. We're talking with Nate Ginter here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. VineIT is his business. Support the local economy by supporting the show. 813-917-1894. VineIT. And if you want to talk to Nate, he can come out and give you a comprehensive review of everything you're doing technology related.
Absolutely. A lot of people think of calling us, when they have problems. We deal with about 15 different major verticals, from financial services to manufacturing. We know tons of products out there that can really also help increase that employee productivity, remote work solutions, all sorts of things for businesses of all shapes and sizes. So, we say just head to VineIT.com. You can contact us right through the web. You don't even have to talk to anybody, and, we'll do a remote call at the time of your choosing. And, we try to make it easy. I don't like to bother people. If somebody emails me twice, I hit ignore that I don't want your stuff. So we try to be very, very low key on the sales process. And I always say you're going to walk away with some great information whether or not you go with us.
Right. Yeah. Think of it as a consulting call, free consulting call, just to talk about it. All right. Step number 2 here on the list. Barack Obama has missing records. When will the FBI ransack his house?
Yeah. So this one's an interesting thing that I actually, it's one of those things that's so simple you don't think about it until it comes up. But there's a number of documents that were listed when the new, they basically about 5 years ago put in place a guy who's in charge of doing all the archiving. Rather than having it be a team. He's like the chief archiver. And he noted that there were a whole bunch of records relating to a variety of topics that the previous administrations back hadn't provided. And this always makes me laugh when they talk about missing documents, because the biggest one, by far, the most egregious thing I've ever seen, it's a matter of public record. You can look up the C-SPAN and CNN testimony. Lois Lerner, when she was in charge of the IRS, they had come under fire because 90+% of conservative 501c3, which is basically a nonprofit designation, they were going after nonprofit status, were being denied. And so there was a whole thing about this, and there were supposedly a bunch of emails that had gone down where there was sort of an unofficial policy, and she said she couldn't produce any emails because her computer had died.
Yeah.
She lost all her emails. That's not how emails work.
Yeah.
You can have your computer die and still log into your email accounts. Those are held on what we like to call servers.
Right.
Also, the government has a duty and a responsibility under their own standards to protect and keep copies of that data. So even if the servers die, there's a backup copy that goes back at least 7 years for every email that comes in and out of any federal organization.
Yeah.
So when she got up there, and it was, and not to her credit, but one of the reasons she was able to get away with it, not one person on either side of the aisle, conservative or liberal, stepped up and said, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That for me, it was like she barely got the sentence out, and I was like, well, that's crazy. That's not
ridiculous.
how that works.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You talk about not knowing technology, and these are the folks in charge of things, writing laws for cryptocurrencies, writing laws for even the internet when the internet was brand new.
Oh, they'll give you. They've issued double-digit million-dollar fines to medical organizations for not protecting patient records.
Right.
And not even just for losing them, but for them actually just not being able to access them.
Right.
So to get up and say that the head of the IRS, you can't locate emails from a month before because she had a computer die is hilarious.
It's crazy.
It's honestly so beyond the pale that when I see this stuff and they're like, well, so and so mismanaged documents, I'm like, well, that's an interesting standard, and I think we should apply that to everybody.
Yeah.
If that's going to be the standard, I think it's good. We the people should be able to see what's being done, and those records should be well kept. But you have to have universal enforcement, and
Exactly.
you have to have the standards well known as to what they are. You know.
Yeah, we're tired of this one-sided, attacks. Like you just said, 90% of conservatives were attacked, and that was when the Tea Party was coming out strong back in the day.
Right.
Yep. So that's and then number 3, Samsung Odyssey. Tell me about
that.
Yeah.
So basically, Samsung just released this new thing. It's really cool. It's a huge 55-inch curved display. And the reason I bring that up is not because I'm a Samsung fan, but I want to introduce people to the concept of if you've got 2 or, God forbid, 3 or 4 monitors on your desk, there is a much better and more efficient way to do things now. You can, for under $1,000, you can get 40 to 50-inch, massive widescreen things that all operate on one panel, so you only need one connection to it. You don't need a docking station and all these other things that can get really wonky and complicated. You just plug them in, and they work. And people are when I show them my workflow, so you can set up even little zones on the screen. So I have an Excel zone that's for looking at Excel spreadsheets in landscape mode. I've got another part of my screen that's parceled out for my email, and another one that's showing a news feed, all on one gorgeous display. It makes your desk look great, and it's way easier to use than trying to drag things between multiple monitors and this one turned off and now this one's over here, and keep shifting, in these problems that are very common. That's one of the things we get calls about a lot. Displays changing depending on the order you power them up, and in these wild things that can happen.
Right.
For the business folks out there, just get one big one.
Yeah, and Nate can help you. You can remote in. You've got a great team over there, got a great organization. You can remote into people's PCs or even Macs, and help them from a remote. You don't have to be on site.
Yeah, so we do complete end-to-end management. So I always say fixing problems is the bulk of what we do, and we can help whether you have a distributed workforce. Our largest client actually has individual contractors, 150 of them all over the United States. We support the entire fleet. We can ship them new systems when they're ready to go, and we can do the same for small businesses. We're primarily the bulk of our client base is in the Tampa Bay, but we have a national footprint, and it's really great to be able to serve people. If you're tired of hearing excuses from your existing IT company, or you just feel like they don't care about you, it's because they don't. And with our service is our big thing.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's just another way to support the local community, local-based company right here in St. Petersburg. I know you're involved with some of the other groups over there in St. Petersburg as well.
Absolutely. We actually are the IT provider for the Chamber of Commerce and the St. Petersburg Bar Association and a number of other places out there, potentially the Clearwater Bar. Teresa, if you're listening.
There you
Give
go.
us a call.
Yeah, exactly.
We really pride ourselves on being responsive. So, whenever I hear somebody go, I called these people and I didn't get a call back for, 5 hours, or, it was 3 days before somebody came out. I'm like, you don't have to put up with that.
Yeah.
So our typical response time is, under 5 minutes. And when we need to roll text, we're out there, typically in the same half of the day. So it's something that we're real proud of, and we've been able to build a great squad.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say is the number one complaint business owners have today?
Well, the number one problem that we see is Microsoft Outlook. Quite frankly, everybody still wants to use the version that it installs on your computer, and especially the longer your business is in, the more that it has to load in every time that it goes to do something. And I try to wean people off of that and show them the web interface and the mobile apps and everything. I got off the demon myself about 2 years ago, and it's the best move I ever made. The other massive complaint that we see is just people feel like, even if their IT company is responsive, they don't feel like anybody's looking at the long-term vision,
right?
That they're kind of reactive and waiting for things to be problems versus going after, newer solutions. And that's something that that we like to do, because my whole business is based on the model of the quicker things work for you and the least amount of problems you have. I'm your partner in that. But we charge a flat rate. So if I have to take 10 phone calls from you a week about problems, I'm doing myself a disservice. So
right.
we like to get out there and stay on top of things.
That's a good point. All right. How can folks find you, Nate?
You can find us at VineIT.com. And there's a top right-hand side of the website there. There's a lot of info about us and our team. But top right-hand side, there's a button to contact us. And there's a little form there. You fill it out, and we schedule a time with you to do typically a remote call. Or if you're in the Tampa Bay area, sometimes we'll even come on site if we're a great fit and have a discussion in person.
Awesome. Good stuff. Nate Ginter, VineIT Chief Technology Officer. Say hello to Mike Thackeray for me as well.
Will do, indeed.
All right, buddy. Taking a quick break. Coming back, we got Neal Levitt on the program. He is a sales manager with Febre Frameworks, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, as a real estate photographer, the official real estate photographer of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the Real Estate Quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. Any of our listeners out there, we'll offer you a 2% listing for the first 3 callers that reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. Call or text the hotline, 813-917-1894. Also, a great opportunity for folks out there looking for a part-time gig, maybe a side hustle, is Keller Williams Real Estate School, powered by Kaplan. Reach out if you'd like more information on how we have a free real estate school for you, online class, get licensed, and start referring business in, or maybe make a new career. 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com for our syndicated radio and TV show on 80 outlets worldwide, consumerqb.com, or our real estate website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com. And please follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram, Twitter, Ginter, and check out our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty. Make it a great day. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals. 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. This is a beautiful $1 million listing of ours in the gated community in Carrollwood. Beautiful property. Actually, just reduced at $975, just under $1 million. This is a beautiful estate-style home, 5,200 plus square feet, 5 bathrooms, and you've got the estates at White Trout Lake, spiral staircase, to the second floor. You also have a private elevator, granite countertops, beautiful pool and spa package in the back, and you can check out the beautiful photography compliments of Febre Frameworks on our website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com. And another listing for this segment is 1148 Glenwood Drive in Dunedin. This is a hot property listing, beautiful area. One of the hottest areas in all of Tampa Bay, and I would say Florida for that matter, is Dunedin, Florida. Beautiful small town, close to the intercoastal waterways. You walk to downtown, you enjoy a dinner downtown. The bar scene is kind of cool down there. 1148 Glenwood Drive in Dunedin, Florida. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, going to the phone lines. We're going to welcome in Neal Levitt to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Neal.
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing well, thank you. Blessed and highly favored, man. Appreciate you joining us. And you are a sales manager for Febre Frameworks.
That is correct. Febre Frameworks is Florida's #1 real estate photography and videography company. We are 5.0 stars rated with both Google and Facebook. We've got over 7,200 active listing agents and next-day guaranteed delivery.
Wow, that's awesome. 7,200 agents. I didn't realize that number was that high.
Now, the number is growing exponentially. We are soon to be expanding outside of Florida. And I thought I had a pretty interesting topic for today, which is what is the largest group of growing buyers, and how do you reach them more so than your competition?
Largest group of buyers.
Largest growing group of buyers is?
Millennials.
You got it, my friend. They are the fastest growing group of buyers. So 43% of all buyers today make up millennials, 37% increase over last year. Now, where's the disconnect in your mind, Brandon? Let me give you a hint. When I go to MLS and I open up MLS and I go through listings, okay, and I go through it with my millennial kids, and they're making noises. They're not good noises, but they're making noises. And why is that? Because the photos, the videos, the Matterport, the interactive floor plans, all that stuff sometimes don't exist, period.
Right.
And if they do, they're not giving the listing any justice whatsoever. So I wanted to talk about tools to reach the millennials to set your listing apart from all of your competition today.
Yeah, I love that. Let's explore that. So when you think about, first of all, the changes that have happened over the real estate space over the last 10, 20 years. Used to be MLS would allow 20 pictures or 25 pictures. Now you go up to 100. And they've gotten a lot better with the implementation of videos, Matterport, and those types of things. And let's face it, too, especially during the pandemic, a lot of out-of-state buyers were buying properties sight unseen. So that means they're relying on the photography and video capabilities of Febre Frameworks and other real estate photographers.
Absolutely, and listen, our culture is we're a microwave culture, right? If you don't capture someone's attention in seconds, guess what? They're gone.
That's right.
They're on to the next listing, and there goes your commission, or you're languishing on MLS for far too long, and there's no reason for either one of those things to happen. So we've come up with some very unique ideas that speak not only to millennials but anyone with a mouse. The more information that a potential buyer can get, and the easier that potential buyer can get that information, guess what? That's going to equal more offers. It's going to equal faster offers, and that's what we all want, I would think, right?
Yep, less days on market. That's right. The doom can kill you. We're taking a quick break. We're going to come back with Neal Levitt. He's sales manager for Febre Frameworks. We're talking about drones as well, how implementing drones into the real estate photography can help, as well as broker education on selling more to millennials here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, we got a feel-good story of the day as well. Find out about this lifeguard skill being put to the test. Teen lifeguard helps deliver baby poolside in our feel-good story of the day. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, all about helping you win in any marketplace, making you a more informed consumer. And it's powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife, Lindsay, and I own and operate a top 100 team here in Tampa Bay, certified negotiation expert, published author, and professional speaker. Love to help you win in your real estate deals. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air as well. We got a hot property listing here at 1605 South Georgia Avenue in Tampa. This is a gorgeous South Tampa property, beautiful area, close to Palmacia as well as Hyde Park, kind of on the borderline between there. 1,500 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just reduced as well. Owners looking for offers, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, walking distance to Bayshore. Walk, jog, bike, run over to Bayshore and enjoy that beautiful South Tampa living that a lot of people admire down there. 1605 South Georgia Avenue in Tampa, and one of our hot listings there. We also have a property at... Let's do 38352 Corey Street in Zephyr Hills. This is a affordable home. This is a very well-priced home. It's in the mid-200s, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, completely renovated, gorgeous kitchen, countertops, stainless appliances, beautiful property, 38525 at Corey Street in Zephyr Hills. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Yeah, we got a lot of vacant land available as well. If you want to buy some dirt, we can sell you some land as well in the area. All right, we're talking with Neal Levitt. He's the sales manager for Febre Frameworks here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And let's talk a little bit about the drone implementation as well, Neal.
Yeah, so drone implementation is a little bit underutilized, but those that are using it, it's okay. We sort of take it to the next level. So, first of all, in our standard package, which I will offer a discount today for anyone that's listening to the program that gives a call, our standard package, video package is $50. It includes unlimited DSLR photos, free drone aerials, single page property website that they can, with one click, do postcards, they can do mailers, they can do Google ads, they can do all sorts of things we pre-create for them. MLS headliner, virtual sunset front elevation, and we've got True View HDR editing, which is amazing because we're able to actually show the views on the outside of the property. From the inside, they can clearly see the ocean, they can clearly see the pool, the golf course, whatever it might be. Now, we use the drones for many things. We use them for photography, we also use them for videos, and we will do the amenities. So most of the communities today have some form of amenities, a swimming pool, tennis courts, whatever it might be. Well, wouldn't some cool drone photography and videography add to that listing and help the listing sell?
Absolutely. That's awesome.
So that's part of the package, and let me tell you, when you're seeing these things from the sky, it's a whole lot different than a photograph that's on the ground. Really is.
Yeah, it really is, and you can get in there and you can access things too that might be a gate lock, but you don't need a gate if you're flying a drone overhead to get a shot of the pool and the common area. So that's a great opportunity there. Neal Levitt on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. He's a sales manager for Febre Framework. So over the years, you've heard probably Sean Febre, Manny Febre, Jeanette Salden on the program with Febre Framework. So Neal, tell us a little bit about what you're doing over there and what some of your goals are with Febre Frameworks.
So, there's a reason that we've had over 7,200 loyal customers, and we are 5.0 stars rated. However, we have failed at getting the message out. So part of my job is sort of to get the message out. We want to take real estate listings into the 22nd century now. One of the ways that we do that is we have a 24/7 virtual open house. It's a 3D virtual open house with a one-click walkthrough. So in other words, your buyer from Philadelphia, they're on at 3 a.m. They're not calling the realtor, right? We hope. And what they can do is just get online and make one click on the Matterport, and it will walk them through the entire property. So you can have an open house at any time. We've also got floor plans that are set up where they can be a one-click, You click in the living room, and then boom, not only can you see the floor plan, but with that one click, you can see all the furniture. And we have a customizable virtual staging. So why does that matter? So let's say I'm selling, like I recently did, a 1910 Craftsman bungalow, right? So there are photographers out there that will drop furniture into it. Here's the issue. Most of those packages are not customizable. What we do is fully customizable. So we can drop in Mission furniture. We can drop in Craftsman furniture. So it will match the house. Why should every house have contemporary furniture? It's not going to help the house sell faster. It's not going to help you get more money. People are visual. We live in a visual age. And certainly the Gen Xers and the Millennials are extremely visual. Another great tool we provide, both to the realtor to save time and also to the right buyers, is we've got a remote measuring tool. So they can get on there, they can measure the walls, they can measure the floors, they can see how their furniture fits from Philadelphia. And that will help speed up the process for the sale.
Yeah, those are some really cool tools, and you still see a lot of these real estate agents just using cell phones, doing the basic bare minimum. I got to think that it's probably the part-timers out there. I don't think it's any full-time real estate agents that are doing that. Hopefully not, but you still see these cell phone shots. And if they're going to take the cell phone shots, at least turn the camera the long way or the horizontal way. That way, it at least fills up the shot there.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that we do for all of our photography packages, we will include a sunset, a sunrise, or nighttime view. So, if you look at a lot of our MLS listings, you'll see an awful lot of sunsets and sunrises. And, all of these things add up to faster turns on real estate inventory and more offers, which drives up commissions. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, we want to make this very easy for the realtor and even easier for the potential buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. And we've noticed the market shifting over the last few months. The inventory's up, more houses for sale. Contracts have kind of gone down. Days on market are going up. You're seeing a lot more price reductions in real estate. I'm talking primarily about Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco in our listening audience here. But yeah, so the market's shifting. For sell by owners are needing realtors again. They're not quite as cocky as they used to be, and so it's good stuff. It's nice to see that the market is evening out and it's becoming more of a balanced market as well, Neal.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we can do to help the agents is all of our packages include a custom property webpage. And that webpage includes a complimentary marketing suite. So in other words, it's if you have 10 listings, they're all going to be different. They're all proprietary to that particular listing. And basically 1 or 2 clicks, there's easy creation for the realtor of flyers, postcards, social media, and digital ads specific to each listing. So you can really pound the pavement very easily with this. Really, it's just point and click.
Yeah, I love it. All right, good stuff. Well, that's about our time for today, Neal. How do you want folks to connect with Febre Frameworks?
I would say either go to our website, www.febre, Febre, frameworks.com, or call me today, 813-365-4125, 813-365-4125. Mention the radio program, and you will get $50 off of any package, including our photography package at only $250, which will bring it down to only $200, and you get about 10 things included, including all of the marketing tools that I just mentioned to help you sell more, faster, and easier.
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing that for our listening audience out there. We greatly appreciate it. And say hello to the team for us, Neal.
Will do, and thank you so much for the time today, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, my pleasure. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have John Long in studio here, US Institute Against Human Trafficking, local area nonprofit doing a lot of work in the areas of human trafficking here. We're going to talk with him about the open southern border, other issues that are facing our country right now. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, plus our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this lifeguard that helps deliver a baby poolside. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Martin Gramatica, Gramatica, that is, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Super Bowl winner, Lifeguard Imaging, lifeguardimaging.com, saving lives through early detection.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Yes, that's what we're doing at Lifeguard Imaging. You come in asymptomatic, and that's what we do. You're being proactive. You're coming in. We do a scan from the neck to the pelvis. It's a full body scan. It's a 3D image of every organ, and that's where 90% of the deadliest cancers are, in our mid region. So we can see everything. But for your listeners, we have a real good special. We have a $599 value, absolutely complimentary. They can come in for a coronary artery scan, which will give you their calcium score, 100% complimentary for your people.
Very cool. Hey, take them up on that offer, 813-917-1894. Call or text, complimentary scan, 813-917-1894, and check them out online, lifeguardimaging.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Got a hot property listing at 14663 Village Glen Circle in Tampa. This is a Carrollwood property, beautiful home, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Got a pool, spa, outdoor kitchen, gorgeous property in Carrollwood. Just did a significant price reduction as well. 14663 Village Glen Circle in Tampa. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75. Tell me something good.
All right, so how would you like to be a young lifeguard, 18 years old, working at a YMCA in Colorado here, and then all of a sudden you had, we'll jump into the story, but on July 24th, Tisa Ryder and her husband Matthew Jones visited the club's poolside, and since being in water was the only ways that Ryder, who was pregnant and past her due date, felt comfortable. So just minutes after they arrived, Ryder got out of the pool and said her water had broken, and Natalie Lucas is the lifeguard, and she says that the adrenaline just kicks in then and there, and she called 911 and started getting supplies ready, medical supplies and towels, and she said she knew she had to stay calm and level-headed, and about 5 minutes later, Ryder gave birth to a baby boy, Tobin Thomas Ryder. A 911 operator walked Lucas through how to check the baby and make sure the airway wasn't obstructed. And Jones said he was grateful to Lucas for her help and likened her presence to a midwife. Both the baby and Tobin are doing well, and she says she plans on sending a card every year on his birthday. So, feel good story of the day, and we are welcoming in John Long from the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. Welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Thanks for having us. Good to be back.
Yeah, my pleasure. Give us a little update. What's new over there at USIAHT?
Well, we're still fighting the fight of ending trafficking, domestically ending trafficking. Oftentimes when we look at human trafficking, we talk about it. It's something that happens in third world countries. We don't imagine it happens here. And one of the things we've done at the Institute is we've really focused on educating the community as well as providing services. For the last 4 years, we operated the only safe house dedicated to boys in the nation. And that was right here in the Hillsborough County area. So it was the only house in the entire nation serving that population. And so through that time, we were able to rescue and serve 34 boys that were victims of sex trafficking.
Wow.
In the state of Florida. So these are boys that came from our backyards who came to us for refuge and rescue. And so we were honored to be part of their lives. And oftentimes we talk about the horrors of trafficking. I mean, it's a horrific place to be, and it's a trauma that we don't understand. We haven't been through it. But we've watched kids as young as 10 years old come to our house who found refuge, started going to school, got jobs. We got one kid who was living on the streets who was being raped 10 times a day by people who were paying to have sex with this kid.
Wow.
He was being trafficked in the St. Pete area. This is a local story.
Wow.
A kid lived in that terror for a year. is now about to graduate as a nurse from school. He's on his own, success story, doing great things in our community. And now even that kid is calling us saying, hey, can I donate money to you because of the things you've done for us? So
how can I get involved?
Yeah,
right.
Some great things. And so that's what we need our community to do as well. Get involved in this fight, educate your kids. And we're a nonprofit operating a small organization trying to fight this nationally.
Yeah, wow. John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out if you'd like to support or volunteer or be involved. 813-917-1894. Call or text the hotline, 813-917-1894. And John, you talked a little bit about in the past, the southern border being a big problem now. It's been open for a long time. People are flooding through, drugs, gang activity, human trafficking coming through. Are you seeing direct responses or direct correlation between the uptick?
Sure, absolutely. I think to date there's been like 1.7 million people just at the southern border, which exceeds last year's, and we're not even done with 2022. Yeah. So that exceeds last year's numbers, and we've still got a few more months of this year, so that number is just going to increase. Wow. So 1.7 million people coming across that border. Who are they? Where do they come from? What are they doing? We know right now when we talk about drugs, fentanyl is a drug that's the largest killer of that middle-aged population here in the United States. Right. The largest port for that coming in is from the southern border. Yeah. We know it's come from other countries to the southern border and then crossing there, and it's killing our kids. It's killing our middle-aged kids. So not only is it human smuggling and human trafficking, but it's also a drug trail right through there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times they use drugs to hook these victims into that perpetual life state. They keep getting them high or shooting them in the arm in the needle, in the needle there in the arm. So they wake up in a different hotel room. I mean, it's just a sad story that plays out a lot of times.
And it's happening more than we know that it's happening. It's happened in every state. Hillsborough County is the eighth county in the nation when it comes to trafficking. Wow. So it's happening here. We're a large hospitality city. Yeah. We've got people moving to Florida in larger numbers than we've ever seen. And so Florida just continues to increase in the number of trafficking victims. Yeah. And you're right, the drugs are used either to control them, or people that are being trafficked are self-medicating because they're living in such a terror. So they find a way to try to find an escape.
Yeah. Man, sad stuff going on. Now, education is a big part of this piece, right? So educating not only the listeners, the consumers out there, the audience, but also educating the police officers, the sheriff's deputies, the school counselors, different folks.
Yeah, we're back to school now, and so we have a big push to make sure that we educate our middle school and high school teachers, as well as our middle school, high school students. We want them to be aware of what trafficking is, what it looks like in case somebody approaches them. Or one of their friends is being trafficked. We know social media is a large platform where people are being recruited. And as parents are busy. They're working, and it's hard to keep track of your kids sometimes exactly who they're talking to. Right. And so educating kids on what a predator looks like, what to do if somebody asks for a nude picture of you. Right. I talk with my 14-year-old boy all the time to exhaustion. I mean, he's tired of hearing about it. Right. But I always ask him, has anybody ever asked to see a naked picture of you? He's like, Dad, stop asking me. But I keep doing that because eventually if somebody does, he'll say, man, this is what my dad was telling me about. Yep. It's okay for me to go tell him that this individual asked. So just being part of our kids' lives, talking to our kids, being involved in their lives and being aware of what they're doing and who they're talking to.
Yeah, I think now more than ever as well, you look at what happened over the last 18 months and, with the lockdowns and the kids, being forced to learn from home and mask up, put the diaper on your face. And you start looking at the challenges that this generation has. And my daughter over in Eastlake area, they just had a suicide. A kid that was going into senior year, beautiful little girl, just took her own life, and it was based on, supposedly some pictures that got out and some bullying that went around that and potentially more. But you look at the world we live in is so much different than 20 years ago, and the unique challenges that kids are faced with today as far as peer pressure and fitting in.
Yeah, one of the largest things we see right now is what's called sextortion, what you're just talking about. Yeah. Where people will take pictures of an individual and then use those pictures against them. Hey, send me a picture, send me another one. And then eventually they say, hey, if you don't do what I ask you to do, then I'm going to release all these pictures to your family, to your friends, to your school. Right. Because I know I know where you go to school, I know where you go to church, I know where you work, because you put everything on social media. Yeah. And so I'll expose all this if you don't do what I tell you. And so sextortion is huge, especially in the college age. because that is a growing population that is finding victim of sextortion.
Yeah. Wow, man, a whole new word I just learned.
It's scary. It's just, and the best thing we could do is just be part of our kids' lives.
Right.
Just educate our kids. I don't look at my son's phone every night, but he knows that I could.
Yeah.
And we have conversations and we talk about, hidden apps. There's that calculator app that most parents don't know about. It's a hidden calculator. Looks just like the same calculator we all use.
Yep.
But you have to put a password to get into it. It takes you to a file, and then it's a whole different world where they can store files and pictures and things like that. So just educating ourselves as parents.
Yeah, exactly. Being involved, like you said, and I would say limiting that time. Doing simple things, too, like having dinner together.
Yeah.
Cell phones away, dinner together. I like to have extra homeschool opportunities. Hillsdale College has some great online classes, teaches all about the founding of the country, and just spend some quality time with your kids and teach them about these evils that are out there that they may be naive to.
Yeah, and if your kids are watching YouTube, watch it with them.
Right.
Be aware of what they're looking at. I got a 4-year-old daughter who has the tendency to hit the wrong button all the time, and so I don't know what she may end up on.
Right.
So just being aware of what they're looking at. But you're right. Put the phones down. Don't let YouTube be the babysitter. Be part of the kids' lives. Be involved in it. And that's the number one thing we can educate parents on, making sure their kids are safe from being trafficked if you're just part of the life and know what to look for.
Yeah, I'm Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with John Long here, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. The website is usiaht.org. And John, you had mentioned also about 200 people that were just recovered.
Yeah, they did it's called Operation Cross Country. It was a multi-state investigation in recovering trafficked individuals, trafficking victims. They recovered about 200 individuals. I think 87 of those were children. And so they've been rescued now. People were arrested. Traffickers were arrested as part of that investigation. But we know here in the United States, 400,000 kids, up to 400,000 kids every year go missing. I think this last year was our largest number. I think we're in the 600,000s right now.
Wow.
As far as missing children. And that individual is at higher risk than any other individual. So they did a great job in this investigation. What we'd like to see is not only these kids recovered, but people charged. We see, Grady Judd and all of our sheriffs get on TV and say we arrested or we got 125 people. But then when you follow who was actually arrested for solicitation, it's only a handful of individuals.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So we got to follow through.
We've talked about that before. It looks like there's no accountability, right?
Sure. And so we got to follow through and making sure survivors are taken care of and buyers are persecuted.
Yeah, limited. As far as the the follow through, right?
Sure.
So it's like the follow through, and then there's challenges with the litigation side because they don't want to face the accusers a lot of side.
Correct. Right now in the state of Florida, that survivor, that victim would have to testify in court while the trafficker was there with them. Yeah. And so some of them just say, I don't want to be there. I don't want to relive that. And oftentimes in the court, they'll find something of a lesser charge because it's easier to charge them.
Right. Plead it out. Yeah, there was an interesting Netflix documentary I looked at over the weekend. It was called I Killed My Dad or I Killed My Father, something like that. Pretty crazy, but the kid, he went through a very horrible childhood, like you said, and then the dad ended up taking him from the ex-wife, and then he didn't let the kid go to school because he knew that he would have a counselor and he wouldn't let him interact with any kids, no sports. I mean, the kid was basically a prisoner in his own room, and things escalated to a point where he ended up shooting the dad. He was trying to come at him. But yeah, I mean, you see these different types of things, and it's just like, man, how evil is that, and how greedy was that father to not let his kid have a normal life?
Yeah, that's
all out of spite.
Yeah, I don't get it. I can't wrap my mind around that. And also, when we go back to that 16-year-old who was rescued here in St. Pete, he lived in a neighborhood where nobody asked questions of who that kid was. Wow. They didn't see him for a year. He was forced to live in a trailer. He was never allowed to leave. Wow. Neighbors never said, "Hey, where's that kid?" And so, being aware of what's happening within our community, asking questions, and if you see something, say something.
That's a big part. See something, say something. Absolutely. Call the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. Call the non-emergency line for the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and get involved with the community. John, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Hey, another great show. I want to thank all of our listeners, our viewers, our production team, everybody behind the scenes, and we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.